Good evening and welcome to another edition of CrosbyPlus. From our home to yours, we're excited to discuss a very important topic, especially during this season with a massive use of technology and social media. We're going to talk about your social media as an online resume and why it's important to think about it that way so you can protect yourself and have a wonderful resume when you're applying for jobs, applying to school in the future, scholarships, all the things that you want to represent yourself in the best way possible. So before you hit post and make something live, we have a couple tips and suggestions for you to make sure that you're not only being smart, but also safe with your online usage. So tip number one, make sure that when you are posting something, whether it be a comment, a picture, a story, on whatever platform, that it represents who you are at your core, your values, the things that are important to you, your character, and that the things that you're posting don't go against your character and your values. Because imagine if you write something negative and it was an opinion about a college tour and it was a pretty disrespectful comment that you wrote out there. And then you apply to that school and you actually want to get in, you were mad about something, so you posted that comment. Well, if that school finds that on your Twitter page or whatever social media platform, that's something that's negative against your value. It's not who you are, it's not your core or your character, but it's something that you put out there. And now it has become your online resume. So be smart with what you post. I always like to say, would your college application have that information on it? Would your grandmother like you to see that information? So just make sure you're being smart with what you are choosing to post out there. Don't post harmful things. Don't post things that hurt other people in a negative light. And you don't always have to share those negative opinions on a social media platform. Share them with someone around you. Tip number two, be safe. Technology is a wonderful tool. It is a tool that is helping us connect and stay in communication and continue working and going to school during this time. I couldn't imagine not having FaceTime or text messaging and not being able to communicate with my peers right now. But it's more than ever important that the information that you do share out there and the platforms that you use, that you do it in a safe way. And so what I mean by that is, one, when you are selecting passwords, make it a strong password. Make it one that you can remember, or maybe you save it. Either way, make it a strong password that someone can't hack and steal your information. You don't want to enter this information in either a not safe website or a website that is safe, but it wasn't a strong password, and then they can get into that website, steal things from your computer or that website or whatever data you've provided. You don't want that to happen. And then the tip number two for being safe, and this is really just a personal and also a suggestion from anyone out there who's going to want to make you safe, is don't post your location where you are at that time. Especially don't post pictures right now of the space that you're in all over your house. It makes sense. You're at your home. That's where you are. And so that's where you're taking your pictures. But try not to take a picture of every room in your entire house. So that way, now social media has a picture of every space and all of the things that are in your home. Unfortunately, there's people out there who want to take advantage of stealing things or stealing identity or whatever it may be and protect yourself. You don't have to put your whole life and your whole house out on social media. And also don't post your location, that geotag where you are, especially the geotag of your actual location of your home. You don't want people to know where you live because there are people out there that you just don't want them to have that information. If they need to know it, they'll be able to ask you, they'll be able to find that information. And tip number three, choose to use this tool in a positive manner that allows you to communicate and connect. And so that really kind of goes with tip number one, that when you are posting things, make sure that it is appropriate and demonstrates who you are at your core. So I'm not here to tell you what you should and shouldn't post. You have to know that. You have to go, I feel good about this, or I like this picture. It doesn't represent me in a negative way. I'm not doing something illegal. I'm not doing something that I would get in trouble for, but it represents who I am. And tip number three is use it to connect, not break down communication. We don't want it to be a bully platform. We don't want it to be a space where you feel like you can hide behind a computer and attack other people. Instead, use it for what the purpose of the whole programs are, to communicate and talk to your peers and your friends and to say, how are you doing? No, really, how are you doing? And it's a way, especially during this time where we are isolated and we can't visit with people in person, that we can create those in-person bonds and continue building those relationships. It's a beautiful thing when technology is used to bring the world together. And I think we've seen that during this time, and I hope that it continues, and I hope that we all are smart with those processes. So again, the 3 tips. 1, make sure that you are smart and you're posting things that represent your character. 2, be sure you are safe on social media. And 3, make sure that you are building community and building conversation with what you are sharing and posting, and that you're not attacking in your comments and your conversations, but you're uplifting and you're growing this world to be closer and a better bond. It is important that you think about your social media as an online resume. I can assure you that colleges will look at this information. So that's one of the biggest and most immediate things you'll be going through, where someone might look at your online profile and see what the student is using on their application and saying who they are. Does that match what they're actually posting on their social media pages? So make sure that what you are sharing is something you would want to put on your college application. You would want to put it on your job application. You would want to share it with the world because it is positive and highlights who you are. If you do all of those things, I can assure you're going to enjoy social media much more, and you're also going to have a really strong social media online resume. Doesn't mean it has to highlight all the things like an actual resume. It just means be smart, be safe, and be positive with what you're posting. We hope that you learned something about this. We hope you're already using those tools and that this is kind of a video that you already have been thinking about and you're already implementing in your life. We can't wait to see you next time. Signing off. Bye.